Okay. All right, let's kick this thing off here. Okay, looking good. Thanks everybody for waiting for us. We, as usual, have little technical difficulties that happen. I am Mike with Available Technology and ATECH Gaming, and we are here with Ross from D20 Studios. He was kind enough to take his time to show us his game that he created. He's the founder of D20 and also the creator of this game, which has been quite a process getting it going, and it's a really enjoyable game, something I've loved to play so far. So Ross, why don't you just give us like a quick intro to what the game is and what you kind of want us to learn today?
Absolutely. Hey everybody, I'm so honored to be here. Thank you so much, Mike, for the opportunity. So Summoner's Fate is a top-down adventure deck builder. It is a game that combines the best of tactical RPGs with collectible card-style games and allows you to go on these awesome adventures with your characters, learn how to build custom decks, and then you can take those decks with you into our PvP and challenge other players.
Very cool. I was just checking the audio. Everything seems to be good. I know I met you at a DreamHack this year, which was really fun. And so, what was the process of kind of getting the game to this point? I know it's taken a while, and some of the folks that are watching us have read the article that we did on your company, so they know a little bit about it. But what's kind of the process that you went through?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So it's an interesting story. I started in games 2006 designing board games. So the original inception of this game is like a 10, 12 year, I'm not sure how to do the math right now. A long process.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's like 13 years now in total. I think that's what that comes out to. So, but it was a tabletop game, and I created it to solve a problem we had with my friends, which was we were really into games like Warhammer and stuff that took a long time to play, D&D and stuff, but we got to this point where we only had short bursts of time to play. So I wanted to take kind of like the best elements that makes those games really fun and immersive and simplify the rules so you could get in really quick battles. And I took that game, created it into a digital game. That was our first product called Hero Mages. And I built that entire thing as like a moonlight indie working a full-time job. And it did pretty well for an indie game. Got a lot of attention and awards, but not enough to really like take off and be like, my full-time job per se. So my career path kind of took me on this journey to Utah, where I went to work for Electronic Arts for a good 3-4 years almost. And I got to use that experience to learn the AAA industry, meet some really talented people in the industry and learn a ton. And since then, I have taken all that knowledge of building a game, building a community, learning this AAA stuff, and implemented this philosophy that I believe in strongly. It's we call it community-driven development, and the idea is that we want to build a game that's truly representative of what the player wants. And so when we started the process of building Summoner's Fate, I actually pulled in some of our veteran players from the first game and got them involved in one-on-one discussions with me. We'd have like a Google group every week and just talk about the game. We have this really rough build of it, and we would take and play test it, get feedback, and it was great because players know better than I do like what they're seeing as what works and what doesn't. And by having this relationship, we were able to create something that was far better than a sole designer could do on their own.
Right, exactly. And I know that you had a lot of background with Hero Mages, so you kind of learned some things that you wanted to include in the game and some things that could make it better. So that's really cool. And I know that you and I have talked about this before, but there's a ton of developers who say they're community driven, but I've never seen anybody as community driven as you are. It's kind of amazing. So I know that like the soundtrack, the audio for the game came from an online contest that you did that invited all comers to submit.
Yes.
How about artwork and things like that? And tell us about the squirrels, because we're going to see those in a minute, and those are pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. The squirrels. Oh yeah. So the music was a great one. That was definitely one that was a bit risque. And like we'd never seen anybody else do a contest for music before, and to have the community involved in choosing it. But we thought, hey, we're going to be different. We got to look for ways to stand out in this crowd. The art. So my wife Kelly, she does our a lot of the marketing campaigns and stuff, and she had this great idea, like we need to get people involved in deciding things like the art. So we would do concept sketches. The artist would usually come back with like A, B, or C kind of choices, and rather than making decisions ourselves, we put it out to the players and say, vote for which one you like.
Which of these do you like? Yeah.
Which weapon do you want to have our flying angel warrior have as her weapon? We had some great ideas. It was like, flame sword and, ball and the flail type of thing. Like this really cool, great laser eyes was one of the ones we had.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So just all kinds of cool things like that. And then, so the squirrel deck, that was interesting. One of the tasks I had kind of early on in that initial group was I said, I want to think about the design of these cards from the perspective of what kind of cards would you like to build as somebody playing the game. And one of the guys, his name's Adam Walter. He's been a long-time Hero Mage community player and a great supporter of our group. He said, I would love to play a game where I just build a deck out of like small forest creatures, like little squirrels and things, and then mutate them into like RUS style. And I took a smile at that because I'm a fan of The Princess Bride. My son's name is Wesley, so that gives me a
that's
clue.
cool. That's pretty cool.
So I'm like, that's a great idea. So we actually, I took it upon myself to actually build that into the game and design it. And then from there, we kind of took, some creative liberties with it. Like initially we had the druid just sort of summoning squirrels as her power, and it just wasn't as exciting as, what if we took and made the druid actually like throw the squirrels at her enemy, right?
Exactly.
And then we took some of the other abilities, like, typical things like, oh, we want to just make it like a big rodent, like a +3/+3. And then my animator and I, he's just a really creative guy. We were building this kind of modular system together, and we discovered that we could take and actually like transmorgify things, I guess. And so instead of just taking and making the squirrel bigger, we decided, wouldn't it be cool if you could just mutate him into like a giant lumbering Hulk squirrel? And, hence these ideas started pooling into the game, and they were all just meant to be these little fun experiments. But then as we start to put together, it was like, this is pretty fun, right? This is
it is. It really gives the game character, and that's one of the things I like about it. So as I'm playing this game too, and one of the things I really love is that it kind of reminds me of Magic the Gathering and some other card games that are like, they're battle-based games, but you have buffs and you have character abilities, and I know there's a huge number of cards in the game and a huge number of characters too, and so I'm sure we'll talk about that some, but we may want to just jump into the campaign, and you can kind of walk us through it, and then we'll come back to this area with all the different sections, and you can tell us about that too.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's start with the campaign. And now, how many campaigns should we expect to see, or how does the campaign part work?
Okay, that's a great question. So right now, the campaign consists of the onboarding experience. We needed to have a way to showcase the game at expos like DreamHack, like PAX, for example. And so what I decided to do is put together like a brief, it's meant to be like a 10 to 12 minute experience that kind of just takes you through some of the basic concepts of the game. And the other part of our pre-release right now is very focused on like just the pure combat, the deck building aspects. We can do balance testing, but the vision for the campaign itself is designed to be something that is, I call it episodic, not necessarily in the sense of like a continuous TV series where things necessarily continue on from one each other, but more like I was explaining to my wife more like a Simpsons thing, where each episode in itself is an individually enjoyable experience, but they can connect together in meaningful ways through like threaded pieces of familiar characters or stories.
Yeah.
But it'll be like procedurally generated. So you'll experience a unique adventure each time that you're going through, and it will sort of connect these things in cool ways. So the challenge is really like, how do you build a deck to survive against the environments, the hazards, the bosses, and of those kinds of things.
Yeah, it's very different too. I've played probably a couple hours of the game so far, and I've played the campaign, and I've played through some of the PvP, but versus AI, so PvAI, and that's been really interesting because the situations that you get put in, and the way that the boards seem to be set up as you go from area to area. Well, let's go ahead and jump into. So we've got the first one here, which is a squirrel to hurl. And then the second one is, this is the one that's where you play as the Lich King to defend against the heroes, which is interesting. And that is a hard mission. I've started that one.
Kind of fun in there to make it so you could kind of see it from the other side, because we didn't want to think it was a game just about squirrels, right? Everybody
right.
wants squirrels. Some people want to summon skeletons.
Exactly, and some armored squirrels. Got to have armored squirrels and big, giant, powerful squirrels. I like the killer bunnies myself.
Yes. Yeah.
They're awesome.
They're a combination of inspired by both Monty Python, the Holy Grail, and Donnie Darko when they.
Yep, yeah, you can see that influence for sure. All right, so monsters have invaded the sacred forest. We are the druid that's just been awakened. There we go. Here I am. My fate is at hand. Okay, so we're turn-based, which means that I get to, my turn is first. I've got, so the parts of the screen here, let's talk about, like if I click on Sylvia, what am I seeing here on her card? Uh-oh, may have lost you.
I'm sorry, I'm still here. Hello, I had it muted for a second there.
Okay. All right, so if we look at Sylvia, for example, what are we seeing on her card here?
Okay, so right now you're looking at, actually, first thing I should call attention to is the fact that they look up at you. People get, this is
right,
like
yeah, they do.
Our signature trait in the game, and we did this on purpose because we wanted to create a sense of connection with the character from a top-down perspective, because tops of heads are kind of boring, right? You don't really feel connected to them.
Absolutely.
And the other key thing you're seeing here is that it's a signal to call to action, right? Mm-hmm. It's telling you, like, I'm ready for orders.
What am I supposed to do? Show me.
So she's a newly awakened summoner. She's, just kind of discovering her fate, and you are meant to be like this guiding force, kind of commanding her destiny. So what you want to do next is go ahead and drag her to attack.
So on the bottom here, we've got our power, which is the amount of damage that we can do, is 2. And then the amount of our life at this point is 3. So yeah, and it's turn-based, and I can just drag onto whatever enemy I want to attack. Let's take a look at this enemy real quick here. This goblin is 1 and 1, so he should be pretty easy to defeat. So let's drag him over there. That was pretty easy. Looks like my turn is over. That's all I've got.
Goblin slaughtered.
Ow. What's the rules for movement? Like how much movement do we get per turn?
All the characters in the game get 3 movement spaces per turn.
Okay.
With exception, there's a few characters like the Griffin that gets double speed, and there's also cards that can manipulate your movement distance as well.
And we have no cards yet. This is just our first battle, so we can't bring those into play. All right, let's take this other one out. Okay. A little introductory level for us, and so we're getting our first 5 cards and some mana so we can cast some of those cards, and then 50 gold.
Yeah.
All right, here's our cards. Fireball, healing, target ally, and pushing enemies back. Okay, let's go to the next area.
Let's try it this way.
So now we've got some ranged. Let's see here.
I'm kind of trying to picture in my mind what's going on because my video is apparently not showing on the screen anymore. So I'm just I'm imagining it.
Oh, okay. If you jump on the stream, you'll see yourself.
Yeah, that's what's happening. I'm on
Let's see
Twitch.
here.
It's just not loading the video right now, so I'm just.
Well, here's a bunch of guys together, so I'm going to use our 3x3 area for fire damage and try to take all these guys.
There we go. That's the way to do it.
Boom. That was easy. And I
Yeah,
still have enough.
this one is interesting too because I've watched a lot of people play it, and I'm intrigued because I wanted to design the intro to kind of encourage sort of discovery and not really necessarily tell you what to do. A lot of games will sort of say, place the fireball here and give you a very specific instruction.
Right, right. And that's true. It does encourage you to try it different ways. I've gone into some of these and tried several different things and failed, and then realized that it's kind of like a puzzle in the way that it seems like there's one best way to do it, although it's not the only way.
Right.
But you can be very creative. Looks like I probably need to heal
Absolutely.
up here. Let's see. Let me knock these guys back. Because we've got all these thorns, I can knock them back and do some damage.
One of the early design concerns that a lot of our players had was I said, for this game, I wanted to kind of focus on faster battles, making the time a little bit quicker. And so I decided to make the maps kind of just generally smaller. There are some larger maps, but they had concerns about the game being not as deep. Like if there's not a lot of space to move, it's not as tactically as deep as it would be in a larger map. I said, well, no, just we're gonna find a way to solve that by using the environment and different things to make it so that there's all kinds of ways to interact, and those spike traps are one of those cool ways where you can actually use the cards to interact with environment.
Yeah, that is true because I've noticed there's some attacks that you have to have line of sight, so you can position yourself in a safe area to cast or do whatever you need to do. Okay, and then how about Explorer? The Explorer mode. What's the difference here between other types of play?
Sure. So we wanted to not just have everything be a continuous series of combat from one piece to another. So Explore mode is intended to kind of break that up a bit by having some different types of encounters you may be able to visit in the game. So, and the example that you're probably in now that I'm imagining, since I can't load the video, is like little puzzles. So kind of like the idea that in top-down classic adventure games like Legend of Zelda, you might have to like move some blocks around or solve a really kind of cool puzzle and use your cards in other ways beyond just combat to get through an area is kind of the inspiration for that.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be, so like a little puzzle. It could be a chance to have a choice. Maybe an example could be like you encounter bandits on the road and they threaten to not let you pass unless you pay them gold, and you can choose to give them gold, or you could choose to fight them, or you could choose to do something else like turn them into a squirrel.
Yeah, right. Okay, got it. So yeah, I went into I went into the Explorer area, the first one where it mentions the Explorer, and got the Oak's End. So now I can now fire squirrels. So that'll be fun.
Let the squirrel hunting begin.
Oh, and I just okay. This leads me to another thing that is really cool that I can do. I meant to do a ranged attack, and I accidentally took a swipe at the thorns, which killed me. So that wasn't good. But one cool thing about this game is that if you make a move that you don't like, you can rewind time basically up at the top left. This one just started me over because I died, but that's okay. It's not very far to go. But that's a nice feature. I've used that many times.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's try that again.
Very proud of the fact we've got that
I just did it again.
ability within our game.
I forgot I have to actually equip that thing. Let's try that again. There we go. Got it.
Interesting.
Now we're set. And there's my squirrel. He's just hanging out watching me.
Hey, Mike, I just wanted to alert you to this in case there might be an issue here. And I've tried loading the Twitch stream on 2 different computers now, and it's giving me an error of 5,000 saying it's not available. I just wanted to check and make sure that your monitor is coming up okay.
Yeah, I'm watching the stream live right now, and it's coming through fine. I also have it on the Facebook Live as well, so both of those seem to be working.
Cool. I'll try and watch it on Facebook then. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Yep, that's facebook.com/ATECH Games, and then you should be able to see our live stream going on there. I'll just take a minute while you're looking at that to, I mean, most of the people that'll be watching kind of know what ATECH Games is, but ATECH Gaming is just a group of gamers who have created an organization which is basically an online community, and our job is to, well, our passion is to raise awareness and to raise funds for game based and game related charities that are out there. We do that through Extra Life. We do it through Stack Up and One Up on Cancer and some other great causes like that. Even something as simply as buying a game that you're planning on buying from a place like Humble Bundle that gives a percentage of your purchase to charities. So it's just a fun way for us to be able to play games and encourage people to help others. So for those of you who don't know who we are, and I'm going to go ahead and heal up here. All right, these guys are a little bit tougher, I believe. Well, he's just got a little more armor than I'm used to. Let's go pull out our wolf. All right, 4-2. It is very fast too. Usually when you think of a turn-based game, you think, okay, I've got to choose all these things, it's going to take a long time, but really this game is very quick. Alright, that turns over. He attacked my wolf. I don't like him. His wolves
that
are so
shield
cute.
Ability of the goblin is something that's pretty noteworthy and cool to call out. The fact that he gets to like just block it, and now he's kind of got his arm down like that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, now I get to choose a card. I can animate a tree. I'm gonna grow my animals. I tend to choose that one. I like that. Did you play much Magic: The Gathering, Ross?
Oh my God, yeah. I was a huge fan of Magic. I still am.
So I loved, always loved Simic, where you take a creature and you can evolve it, and that's what I tend to do in games like this too. So I just chose the, I chose the animal growth card.
Yeah, very appropriate.
All right, let's see here. What's this guy? He's huge. That's the Orc Warrior. Yeah, he's gonna be a nasty one. Let me get some squirrels out there, and then grow the squirrel really big. All right, my squirrel's now a 4/4.
And he's a mutant.
He's a mutant squirrel. He really is.
You know, fun story. When I was at one of the cool things I got to do at DreamHack was to pitch the game to a large group of prestigious judges that consist of investors and publishers and other game studio heads. And the comment that got him as I'm giving the pitch, I'm kind of like talking through the different things, and he's like, "The moment that squirrel transformed into the Incredible Hulk squirrel, I just lost it."
Exactly. That's really what makes this game really fun. Is there's unexpected things like that everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, now see, now I can summon 2 1/1 armored squirrels. I'm gonna have to choose that one. The squirrels are great. Did you get your feed there?
I did, yeah. There's a slight delay, so it's like a little bit behind, but that's to be expected with this game.
Gotcha. Yeah, you can certainly follow along.
Facebook is working great. I don't know why I was having trouble on Twitter for me. It's strange.
All right, so now we're in the area where we've got these guys are tough. So now I've got a party of 3. So and one thing I haven't done yet is I haven't played enough to figure out how I have multiple members in my party. So how does that happen?
So the idea would be that as you're exploring, you're going to take and encounter them in various situations. So like part of that explorability will be chances where you could recruit new members, and then they'll permanently join your team. And I wanted to create something that ultimately feels like cohesive and seamlessly connected. So when you take your warriors from one map to another, you see how you kind of seamlessly transition during that first part. That's kind of the idea. Like their health, their equipment, their stats, everything will carry over through the whole adventure. And the campaigns or the episodes are meant to last anywhere between an hour to 3 hours to beat the game, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. But then obviously you play again, it's an entirely new configuration. You pick different characters, you have a different boss, you have different monsters you encounter. And each time you beat a playthrough with those characters, those then become unlocked. And now you can choose to bring them into future adventures as a starting character or build them in your battle decks. Okay.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And then that leads me to another question, because I have now 3 classes. So I have a Barbarian, which has Knockback and Wreck. And then I've got Sylvia, who I've been playing with. And then I've been added also a Cleric who can remove debuffs and heal. And I know there are a lot of different classes and characters. So how many are there?
Over 200.
Over 200. Oh my goodness.
Is the target for launch, and yeah, it's a big bill to fill. But and it's a challenge, but they're all, our goal is that everything has value. Like that's one of our design principles. Initially, this was going to be a kind of a free-to-play game, and you were going to have your typical commons and rares, like any card collecting game. And I decided to kind of go against the norm. I've been pushing myself toward looking at newer and fresher ways of doing things, and I felt the idea of true creative expression, which is what the reason I feel that players who enjoy these kind of games really like them, would want to have things that have value. There's not like grindiness or cards that are smaller, lesser derivatives of others. It's all meant to be truly unique in some kind of way, whether that's unique because it synergizes differently with another character or because its ability just complements this particular style. But yeah, that's kind of the idea.
And this is not an easy mission. That Lich King is quite tough.
Oh yeah. There's a fun joke about that. I remember when I presented the Lich King, the first person I showed it to was my animator, Peter. And he looked at the card and he's like, just drains 3 health back when it hits you? I'm like, that doesn't seem very powerful, Ross. I'm like, oh no. You just wait. You'll see. Boy, he changed his mind.
Yeah, and he really summons a lot of pretty tanky characters too.
Oh yeah.
That you have to battle through. Okay, I'm gonna take this guy out. Alright, let me do 2 more squirrels. Transform target minion into 1/1 squirrel. I don't think I'm gonna use that yet.
That would be appropriate for that guy.
Guy's killing my squirrels left and right. Alright, let me take him out. Oh, he's blocked right now. Heal up a little bit with my cleric, which is always nice, and then let's see if there's anything else I can play.
Always a wise strategy.
Who's got damage? Really nobody yet. I'm gonna end this turn. Yeah, the skeletons are looking up at me too. I'm not gonna help them though. They don't need any help. They really don't.
Yeah, I was one of the members of my team. I think it was Peter. He said something about like when the enemies look up, it's like you don't know they're looking to another summoner somewhere.
Exactly, that's
player,
true.
Another world that's commanding them.
All right, let's see how we're looking here. We're looking pretty good, really. Now I need to heal him up. Let's do heal all. And let's do this. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Let's try that instead. Yes. Just triggered the first combo of the round.
Excellent. The combo system is probably one of the mechanics I'm most excited about. It's one of the most unique design features that you won't see in any other game like this. And it was inspired by that barbarian attack, actually, the idea that he's got this big swinging sword. I love the idea of like that batter up idea where he just knocking somebody into somebody else and then they get off on it.
So that's also a strategic move that you can place your characters in certain places to initiate, a combo attack and that kind of thing. It's really interesting. Oh yes, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 I have 2 squirrels, 2 bunnies, and I'm going to multiply them. So now I have.
Oh, this is gonna.
Ooh, and I'm going to do animal overrun.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Wow. Okay. Let's see how many hit points this Lich got. Oh man, I haven't done much damage to him yet, so I'm going to start attacking.
This is fantastic.
Let's see if I can. The only problem is
so
proximity.
Many rodents.
Proximity is my issue. I can't get close to the guy.
Yeah. The animal over and helps you a little bit with the angle attack, so you can kind of spring in there. That was why we put that in there. It was like, oh, I got all these super pumped up squirrels, but they can't hit the guy because he's only got 4 tiles around it. So
Exactly.
give him the angle attack, they can kind of leap at him.
Yep, I don't think there's anything else I can do. Oh, I can do an angled attack. There we go.
Excellent. What's really interesting is how quickly the game can turn around too. I've seen players go through this and get Lich King down to like 2 health, and then he'll summon a flesh golem or an army of skeletons, and then it's like, oh no!
Yeah, it seems like every turn he's like populating the board here. Oh yeah, there's a lot of damage going on here. I need to take advantage this turn. Okay, let me bring out the wolf. I'm gonna go ahead and multiply again. I'm gonna breed everybody.
Oh man.
And I'm gonna do animal growth again. So everybody that can reach this guy is gonna take a bite out of him.
It's death by 100 tiny teeth.
It is.
On the way.
Man, he's got a lot of hit points though.
Oh, just so many rodents on the board.
There are.
You got the Donnie Darko bunny going there. Excellent.
Okay, let's see. I need to move him back.
Oh, this is great.
Box myself in though. Alright, let's go ahead and end that turn. Yeah, those bunnies really are Donnie Darko. That's funny. It's interesting to see the little influences here and there. I like it.
Yeah.
Oh no, he got my wolf. Okay, we traded squirrels. Wow, okay, how about 2 more bunnies? I might not want to do that. I got so many out here already. Let's do a lightning bolt.
I love how the Lich King has his own squirrels because the breed bred his squirrels too.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
It doesn't discriminate.
That's right. Okay, let's do this.
I don't know if you saw this in the card, but the bunnies are great against those shield warriors because they've got the sharp teeth that'll bite through the armor and the shields.
Oh no, I didn't. That is very handy because a lot of these guys are pretty armored up.
Pierce ability, yeah.
I need to move this character out of the way. Let's see what else I got.
This is looking pretty good for you here, the Lich Kings.
Yeah, we're closing in on him. I might as well put 2 more of these out.
I cannot be defeated by these bunnies. That's not how I go down.
I keep looking for the holy hand grenade. That should be a card, although that's probably a copyright issue for you.
Yeah, you gotta be subtle with these things. They're gonna be
yeah.
you can't throw direct references.
Oh, drain life. He keeps backing down though. He's like moved himself into a corner now. There's another necromancer.
It is intriguing. Yeah, it was one of the things I wanted to have in the AI this time around was give them some sense of humility when they're getting defeated. They don't just sit there. They kind of retreat a little bit, you know, like.
Okay, finally I've got some damage cards out here. Detonate. Alright, so Detonate has to be cast onto a character?
Yes. And one of the best ways to use it is put it on like one of your squirrels, say, and then you attack, and then during the counterattack they'll typically kill the squirrel, which will then trigger his explosion.
Got it, okay. Let's try that.
So basically, your squirrel in a way is your holy one.
Oh, I backstabbed him, so that didn't help.
Ah, yeah.
I guess my fireball I can't use. I don't have enough mana left. All right, let's get this guy out of the way. Attack of the killer bunnies.
Killer bunnies.
They're everywhere. I got this one really buff bunny, but he's not close enough, so I gotta move him a little closer.
The buff bunny.
The buff bunny.
It's a hilarious thing you hear. I remember when I was working at EA, we used to always joke about how we have these jokes we would tell each other, like how the conversations that would come up. I was one of the franchises I worked on was the Minions game, and it's like I never thought I would talk about fart jokes and fart jokes so much at work in my life.
Makes for an interesting work day.
Indeed, indeed.
All right, I'm hoping to finish this guy off pretty soon, but he's trying to decide how to take me out. Ah, there goes my squirrel. It exploded. No, don't get my barbarian. Uh-oh. Man, they killed my barbarian. That's not good. Alright, take this. And that.
Oh no! See, this is where he comes back with the vengeance.
Yeah, it's trickier
What
than it
happened
looks.
to the
For sure.
rodents? They're
I know, they're all gone. The exterminators came
the
out.
beautiful field of bunnies is now.
I'm not getting good.
Skeleton.
You need better cards.
Bring in the tree and finish him off.
No! Stop it! Yeah, it's my turn. I'm frozen. Alright, let's see. What can I do to this lich guy? Get him out of here. How about this tree? Get him.
That's amazing.
Ta-da!
I love the horror of the comeback of this thing.
It is, and it goes differently every time, and that is a very interesting aspect, because it's the setup the same on this level. Every time it's the same, but you can choose to play it 100 different ways. Okay, very cool. So we are coming back to the main screen.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I know that there's a big multiplayer component, and I haven't honestly checked it out yet. So how does the hub and the battle areas, how do those work?
Sure. So kind of, I'll talk about the campground first a little bit. The idea of this was I wanted to have something a little bit more immersive than just a series of menus. And I always loved like the kind of feeling, the nostalgia of D&D where you're like, you've finished your battle and you're resting at the campfire or you're at the tavern or whatever. And so I wanted to kind of create this idea. That's where your team's at, and you can change out your party here and stuff. But the battle places, that's where you currently do PvP. Eventually, the game's going to have 3 modes for multiplayer. It's going to have real-time PvP. It's going to have asynchronous, which is similar to like Words with Friends, where you can play it kind of turn-based over email.
Great,
taking
that's cool.
turns and exchanging. And then the other mode is called desync, or we call it offline multiplayer sometimes. It's the idea that you can play with anybody who's been a player in the multiplayer world, and you fight their custom-made decks, but the AI will control them. And at some point, we'll have some kind of cool algorithm that'll try to track and learn about how they play their decks so that it'll feel like you're playing them when they're not actually present there. And the cool thing about that is that we'll be able to take and do that offline as well.
Yeah, that's very interesting, like the chess style, where each player takes a turn and they can come back later and finish up whatever they have an opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah, and then so like the hub area, that was originally going to be the kind of like the microtransaction store, but we're kind of, I said, moving away from that to a premium model.
Hmm.
because of the spirit of how the game's evolved. And we want to make that kind of like a community center where it's got a way to connect you to different events and players and community, and make friendships and kind of have fun. And we will have expansions at some point, so those may still live in that area when we add more cards and different features to the game that go there too. And then the campaign area is where we're going to have the procedural campaign. So right now it's just the two missions, but that will expand, and you're going to have what look like the way I describe them is like they're like branching saga maps.
Hmm.
So and there's a few pictures on our websites that kind of show what they look like a little bit. But the vision for that again is that they'll be continuously changing, and there'll be all these injections of new content. So even after you've played all the possible permutations, which I mean, there's going to be like thousands, there'll be more characters, cards, and things continuously making that fresh. And then the card tortoise is there because I just thought, why not tortoise? He's awesome. Like, have something besides the table to represent where the cards go, and that's where you manage your collection, and you can build your custom decks there. And what's cool about the decks in our game is that you get to do kind of a multi-phase thing. First, you get to choose your summoner, who's your main caster, and then the summoner determines which kind of characters you can bring. You get to pick your 2 guardians that accompany you in the battle, and then you get 20 cards to make a deck out of. And yeah, there's also the collection browser there that lets you view the different types of cards that you can create. Yeah. So this is the deck builder. It's what really cool feature about it too. So the game will be fully cross-platform on Windows, Mac, Android, and iOS, and it performs in both portrait and landscape. So this entire interface here actually adapts, and you can build decks with one hand using just your thumb, because the whole thing will just kind of flip and panelize to that orientation. It's kind of cool. Yeah. All the UI right now is placeholder, so it is still a work in progress, and I've tried to make that clear with my very programmer-esque engineer art. That's why everything's sort of gray box to let you know it's placeholder. But we're going to have, obviously, all that fully treated with an appropriate style to match the rest of the cards and characters.
Yeah, and so I know that the game just went pre-release. It was 2 days ago, right?
That's
So
right, yeah.
it's now available to be purchased. And so if someone gets it now, what's the advantage to them of going ahead and getting on board and being part of your team rather than waiting until later?
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, this is a chance like no other to be, if you care about game design and you like to come up with ideas for games and wish you could be like telling your favorite game company, I want to have this in the game, I want to see this happen, or like this is a hands down invitation to take part in that in a way you've never experienced before. I mean, I've taken this to the extreme of doing weekly Twitch streams now, where I'll go on there and I spend a couple hours during that week making cards that players suggested in our Discord conversations. And you actually get to watch me program it, and then when I'm done making them, I do a push to the server. We tried to do it this week. I had a little bit of a bug where it didn't go through. But the idea would be we make the card together, we can push it to the server, and then we can play a game together while we test it out to see how. I mean, it's like hands down, like you're part of the studio. It's cool.
It really is. I mean, it's been super unique, the community, just because I pre-purchased the game because I wanted to play it, and then being part of the Discord community, I get alerts all day where people say, how about this card? We should do a card that does this, or why does this card do this instead of this other thing? And it's cool to see that you're so responsive and actually making changes based on that.
Yeah, it's great, and it's cool too. Like there's something about being the first, because you're part of the journey, right? And so everyone who's participated in the development so far, who's been a part of our journey, can see like we make it a goal of ours to really show how much we care about the input. Even things like in our social networking communities, like the tree, like that slap. The first time I showed the tree, and he just sort of did a regular knockback, and he was hitting the goblin, and somebody commented like, "Wow, I feel like that goblin should go flying a lot further than one space for a tree that big." And so I put another joke, cranked up the power to like 5, so he has like this ridiculous knockback that just flies him across the map, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, that was awesome!" I'm like, "That was awesome. Why can't it be like that? It should always be awesome, you know?" So
exactly, it's got to feel powerful. That is pretty cool.
Yeah. So cards in the game right now, we've got over 170 of the 400 plus cards planned for launch implemented. And of course, we hope to continue that into the future. Like when I say community driven, like I don't want to have to like think about what the expansion is going to be. I want players to be like, we want the next expansion to be like pirate zombie, lizard people or something. I don't know, like, like whatever thing is cool and creative and sounds awesome, and really develop it in that kind of direction where it feels like it's a truly community driven game. It's the goal. So yeah.
Very cool. Well,
would you like to take a stab at your first PvP game? I'd be happy to join you. I've got my client open here.
Absolutely. I've been wanting to do that, so let's give that a shot.
Oh, yeah. If you think playing the AI is fun, what do you
Yeah,
what do you
right.
try
So,
with the,
yeah, so I'm going to be playing against the guy who wrote the game. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to go well. So we go to battle?
I lose more often than not. It's funny as it seems. Well, this
Wow.
is cool. I'll be able to see the game in real time now, so I can kind of speak more directly to what's happening.
Well, I've got to screenshot that if I'm going to be playing against against Ross D20 Studios. Okay. Wow, these are all new cards and characters I've never seen before. Hey, it's my turn.
Hey, how about
Gotta love that. Gotta love that. I don't know
And
any
I
of these
see
guys.
shows the Cold Hearteds, the Ice Queen, like our dark take on the Ice Queen, allied together with bandits and assassins.
Let's see here. Far shot. Gotta figure these characters out a little bit. Let's see, check our cards.
The assassin is definitely one that creates a lot of tension playing matches. I've seen some of our players have gotten very creative with that character and like utilizing him to the nth degree. But his stealth ability is a new mechanic we recently added into the game that allows him protection from being targeted by any kind of spells or attacks, which makes him really hard to kill. And then the deck you're playing has got a lot of synergy. And what I mean by that, if that term's not familiar, is it creates natural, like the sum is greater than the how does that go? The total is greater than the sum of its parts.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the idea with that. So she has like other bandits, she'll naturally buff them, and likewise her abilities all kind of synergize with those other bandits. So he's got a natural +2 buff now because of the leader.
All right, let's see how this plays out here.
I say to start my turn frozen. So my deck is the Mind Gamers. If you play Magic the Gathering, this would be like the blue deck. It's all about manipulation of the board, messing with people's heads, control. But we do it in some really, really unique ways. So like my Scientist here, I'm going to use her to try to start whittling you down. She hurts people with a kind of a range attack, but when she gets you down weak enough, you're kind of like injured. She'll actually take control of your character, and then I'll be able to move your pieces around on the board. And then, of course, I don't want to have you guys get too close to me, so I use the Minotaur to kind of knock you back toward your base.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Good luck. Now that orange glowing radial that's going on those characters right now, that is the taunt aura. And taunt's a fun mechanic because we had that in our original game, Hero Mages, and it was originally just the Soul Reaver's power, who's the character I've got at the top, or the girl. And the idea was that you're just so compelled to attack them because they're just like, needling at you, so to speak, is the way I would describe it.
Right, exactly.
But it acts as a natural pin, so when you're taunted, you can't move away at all, and you can't like go around to attack the flanks or the sides, and it's useful for completely locking the enemy down into a position. So it's a very, very like heavily tactical ability. All right, so I'm going to cast a Mana Surge, and then I'm going to use that to let's see, bring out a Yeti.
Wow.
Yeti is going to come attack. And the Yeti is a great character. He's really fun. He like eats his victims, I guess, or he gets bigger each time he defeats somebody.
Oh, nice. Well, he's
So
cute
it's
and
great.
furry.
Yeah, he just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
He's cute
And then,
and he kills.
This card here, the Force Field, is another fun one. A lot of games will have protection mechanisms that'll kind of like last after one hit. And again, I wanted to make everything in Summer's Fate feel just like really unique and really powerful. And the Force Field is a card that you play, and it seems really simple, but man, it's like one of my favorite cards because it basically makes him completely impenetrable to any kind of attack until something charges up there and melees it.
Mm-hmm.
So all missile attacks, all spells, like it's just an amazing defensive card. I always joke when I lose the Force Field, it's like losing a friend. All right, so now we're going to see the mind control ability of the Scientist, and because the assassin was kind of whittled down, I was able to take control, and now I can command him, and I'm going to use him to chop down your bandit leader there.
Yeah, he's done.
And then I guess I'll attack your leader as well, and then I will pass turn back.
Let's see what I've got here. Bandit Cutthroat.
Good shot. Bandit Cutthroat's a lot of fun, especially when there's a lot of weaker units. I've seen the Bandit Cutthroat murder an entire army of squirrels in one turn because as long as she keeps killing with that knife throw, it'll just keep cascading over and over and over. It's pretty good.
Goodbye, assassin.
Goodbye, assassin.
Cover of Shadows.
I'll breathe a little easier now.
I know. Describe the Cover of Shadows for me.
Oh, okay. So Cover of Shadows is a card that it's one of our surprise cards. So this will be technically I wouldn't know you're casting it when you cast it. So it's a secret, and what it does is the next time you would be attacked by something, it will kind of put you into the stealth mode and then prevent any further attack. So it is also a fantastic defensive card. So I would use on whoever you think would be my next target to go after you with, because it'll mess up my whole turn basically if I trigger it.
Finally. Oh.
All right, so let's see here. I'm going to try out something kind of fun. This is a Iron Golem, and he's a character returning from Hero Mages as well. And this time we've given him double spinny spike balls so he can do this. He just hits everybody. And then this will be kind of fun. I'm going to try and attempt to trigger a combo with my Yeti here. Get the Ice Golem.
Wow.
And as a result of that, my Yeti also got beefed up a bit. So now he's a massive 7'10" Yeti now.
Oh my goodness, he's huge.
He's feeling good. And then we'll start whittling down your bandit there. And I guess I'll just go ahead and Mage can probably stay there. He's feeling pretty safe over here. I'll put him over there. Okay, and we'll end turn.
Alrighty, let's see here.
So I'm going to go ahead and guess that was the Shadows card, but I don't know which character you put it on.
I will never tell.
I'll have to wait and see until I trigger it.
Quickly going down here.
Alright, well, you've frozen the Yeti, so that's kind of hindered my plans a bit there.
Yay!
There.
Still, he doesn't have much to hold on to there.
Alright, let's knock her out of the way.
My guys aren't very good healers.
Take a zap at the Sinus, but you get your free counterattack on me.
How dare you?
And then summon Water Elemental, why not? Because
I'm gonna freeze it.
you have more creatures there.
Okay.
The attack dog. Man, I would definitely go for that Yeti if I were you.
I think I'm gonna have to try to take him out if at all possible. That
was a smart call. So, interesting thing there, you notice he didn't retaliate. normally every character gets to have a counterattack back once per round, but there's a special allowance or a special rule there where it's called overkill. So if your power exceeds the remaining life, it's considered to be pulverized to the point where it can't attack back. And so my Yeti did not get to have a free shot back at your dog because of that.
Overkill.
So that was a good move, an overkill.
Oh, and I just wasted some attacks because I forgot your character back there has the force shield.
That's
so
right.
It's
yeah,
going to have to be meleeed to be attacked.
Go ahead and gets absorbed there. Yeah. So take out the dog.
Don't hurt my dog.
Sorry.
So mean. So did you record that sound? That sounded just like it.
I did. Yeah, I'm the dog.
See, that's great.
Yeah, I do some fun. I'm not really an audio talent, but I have some fun where I make fun sound effects when I play, so I just put them in the game for now. And then it is funny, I put that in there just as a placeholder, and then I get these comments, man, those sad wolves when they die, they really got to me. I'm like, that was just me having fun. All right, let's see here. I feel like I want to cast something else, but there's nothing. I'm waiting for you to summon some guys so I can do some crazy mind stuff.
I know I'm running low here.
You're holding out on me, Mike. You're holding out.
Well, I'll give you that opportunity.
Oh, there we go. Ice Giant.
Let's see.
Big boys.
Running out of options.
I was originally concerned that her freeze would be overpowered, and then in practice it turned out that it really just it balances nicely with the other decks. It just tends to slow the forces down. It doesn't hit very hard. It keeps me from advancing. All right, let's see if we can take this.
Wow.
Go here. Now we'll then. Oh, you're gonna love this. Come in for the kill. Take him down. All right, and then I guess we'll go ahead and peg the frost queen again. So here I am. I'm all frozen.
All right, let's see. What can I do here? 2 damage. 2 damage. I really need to do some melee damage to your summoner up here, so let's see if I can melee him. Quite overpowered here, I believe.
All right, let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and start hitting the mage now. We need to start doing some damage here. Get this battle cinched up here. There. And I've got enough money to do this. Let's do it. Let's steal this guy from you. What's that? The Ice Queen? The freezer of foes has been frozen herself?
Oh,
what?
The irony.
The irony, yes.
Okay. Ooh, the Frost Dragon. I don't have enough mana for my Frost Dragon. Ice Javelin.
Oh, there we go. 2 for 1. That's always a good deal.
That's all I got.
Oh,
This looks like the end. Looks like
this
the
may
end.
be the end, yeah. I hate to say it. Alright, let's start with 2 from her. Got 7 left. Get you frozen with this guy. Bring in this guy. 3, and I think I just got it there. Good game! GG!
Alright. Nice.
Well played, sir.
That was
Not
enjoyable.
bad for a first time ever match versus the creator. Give him some credit here, guys. Come
Yes.
on. Great.
Big applause for me
That's
and my
right.
skills. All right, cool. Well, Ross, that was awesome. It's been about an hour, so is there anything else you want to leave us with before we say goodbye?
Yeah. So, I just want to say again, thanks so much, Mike. I'm so honored to have met you, to have this opportunity. It sounds like the community of gamers you've got here is really doing something special. I love the idea of the gaming for charity and for noble cause, and that's just like as a person who likes to build positive and, inviting communities, like, it's, fist pound for, for
Exactly.
that. Like, it's awesome.
Virtual.
Yeah. And then, of course, I extend an invitation to everybody. Please come check out the game at our website, summonersfate.com. The pre-release is available. Kind of the cool thing about that, it's for PC and Mac, but we've also got our mobile test builds in test flight on iOS and also one on Google Play. And so if you get the pre-release, I also give you an invitation to join us on the mobile testing as well, so you can play it on any platform. And like I said, we do events every week where we invite you to come and share your ideas with us. And of course, we're always open 24/7 on our forums and our Discord. So if this is your kind of jam, come check it out. You'll never find another experience quite like this with that level of involvement with the developer. And I'd love to have you playing the game and giving us your feedback.
That is true. It's really unique, and it was very cool to have met you and got to kind of see the process that you've gone through. It's been really interesting. So yeah, everybody take a look at summonersfate.com. Go ahead and pre-purchase the game and start playing it. Almost all the platforms will be available, whether they're, I think we're not quite ready for the Android and iPhone yet, but the PC and the Mac are certainly up and running, and I've been playing them for a while, so they're definitely running well. And then, of course, check out atechgaming.com or ATECH Games on Facebook and see what we're doing. And we encourage everybody to find one cause that they're interested in and give as little as they possibly can. If they can give even $5 to that cause, go ahead and do it. And that way you can help the community and help gamers all over the place. But Ross, I really appreciate you spending your time with us today, and it has been a lot of fun. I hope we can do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again so much, Mike.
Okay, see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.